Ones that came preloaded with all the best games from a generation, simple, compact, and just fun to use. And that got me thinking, you don't actually need a special device to build something like that. What if you could take a cheap mini PC and turn it into your own game console? Something just as simple, but way more powerful and customizable. So today, that's exactly what I'm going to try. Let's build a game console out of a mini PC. But before we dive deeper, let's talk about what I'm actually trying to build. I don't just want a PC that can play games. I want something that feels like a real console. Not just for one platform, but for everything you can think of. PlayStation, PSP, Wii, Xbox. You press the power button, pick up a controller, and you're instantly in the game. No keyboard, no mouse, no complicated setup. So this is the machine we're working with. The ASRock Desk Mini X300 running a Ryzen 3 2200G with 16 gigabytes RAM. And yeah, by today's standards, this is pretty weak. No dedicated GPU, older CPU, and modern PC games are getting more demanding every year. So no, this isn't exactly an ideal gaming setup, but that's exactly what makes it interesting. Because if this actually works, it proves you don't need expensive hardware to build something fun. So the question is, can this limited mini PC become a true gaming console? Let's find out. First problem, it's running Windows 10. And Windows is the exact opposite of a console. Too many background processes, too much unnecessary stuff. So before turning it into a gaming machine, we need to clean it up, because if it still feels like a PC, then I've already failed. I'm going to use a tool from Chris Titus to strip out all the bloat and make the system much smoother. We'll run it through PowerShell. I'll leave the command in the description. I'm not going to tweak too much here, just enough to make Windows lighter without breaking anything later on. Alright, that's done. Now to keep things simple, I could just install something like Troubleshooting or Steam OS, but I want to stick with Windows, because if this works, anyone can follow along without reinstalling their entire system. Plus, I've already made a few videos on Troubleshooting and Steam OS, so this time I want to try something different. And for this build, I'm using PlayNight. Basically, it turns your Windows setup into a console-like experience. All your games and emulators cleanly organized in one simple interface. All you need to do is head over to the PlayNight website, download it, and install. Super simple. But once you launch it, it's completely empty. No games, no emulators. And that's when I realized, before installing anything, there's one important thing I need to fix first. This system has to be fully controllable with a controller. Because if I still need a mouse and keyboard, then it's not really a console. So to solve that, I'm using a tool called Anti-Micro-X. Basically, it lets me map controller inputs to mouse and keyboard. Just a few quick button mappings, and that's it. Now I can control the entire system using only a controller, no mouse, no keyboard, and this is the moment it finally starts to feel like a real console. But right now, there's still nothing to play. So next step, installing emulators, and turning this mini PC into a multi-system gaming machine. Now things start getting interesting, because I don't just want one platform, I want everything, all in one place. And honestly, PlayNight makes it really easy. However, PlayNight won't automatically install emulators for you. It simply helps manage and connect them all in one place. Here's how to set it up. Go to Menu Arrow, Library, Arrow Configure Emulators. Then click on Download Emulators. You'll see a full list, along with direct download links for each one. Just pick the emulators you need, download and install them as usual. After that, add their shortcuts into PlayNight, and that's it. All your emulators are now right here, organized, connected, and ready to use. Alright, emulators are done. Now, the most important part, games. I've already prepared a few of my favorite titles from different systems. You can download your own games from the internet. Just make sure you're using trusted sources, or if you can dump them directly from your own disk. Now let's add them into PlayNight. Open the menu arrow, add game. You'll see a few different options here, but for the fastest setup, I'm using Emulated Scanner. This feature lets PlayNight use your emulators to automatically scan, and recognize your game. And the process is super simple. Select the emulator, choose the folder that contains your games, hit Start Scan. Wait a moment. Once it's done, you'll see the full list of detected games. Just click Import, and that's it. All your games are now added. For other systems, just repeat the same steps. Play Night will handle the rest. Now everything is right here, all inside Play Night. A single library with all your games, all your emulators, and honestly, this feels so good. Like you just gathered your entire childhood into one place. You can switch between different views, detail, grid, or list. And yeah, it looks really clean. You've also got filters for everything, by platform, by genre, by release year, tons of options, very intuitive, very easy to use, and the best part, you don't lose Windows. Everything is still there. Your browser, your apps, your files. You can still use this like a normal Windows PC. It's just that now, with Play Night, it also doubles as a full multi-system gaming console. Alright, enough talking. Let's jump straight into some games. Let's start light, classic Nintendo NES. I launch Mario Brothers, and nothing. The game won't run. Something's off. I switch over to the QuickNES core in RetroArch. Boom, it works instantly. So yeah, the issue wasn't the game, it was the emulator core. To fix this, go back to Configure Emulator in Play Night. Here's the key thing. RetroArch doesn't just run games by itself, it relies on specific cores for each system. And if you don't select the right one, nothing works. So make sure you're using a compatible core. That's exactly why things like EmuX NES or FCEU misconfigurations won't launch, because RetroArch doesn't have those cores properly set up. Once you get it right, everything just clicks, and suddenly you're not troubleshooting anymore. You're playing. Alright, now let's step it up. SNES, and even GameCube. I go back in, fix the emulator configs, make sure everything is mapped correctly, and then everything works. Games launch flawlessly. Smooth gameplay, no crashes, no weird bugs, just clean. And here's the truth. Play Night is insanely powerful, but it's not the kind of tool you install and magically works. It's more like a command center, a hub that connects everything together, and if you want it to work perfectly, you have to set it up properly from the start, especially the emulators. They have to be configured right, but once set up correctly, everything is truly impressive. And now a preview to turn this into a real console experience. We enable full screen mode in Play Night, but that's not enough. I want it to launch instantly when the PC boots. So here's what I do. Switch the shortcut from desktop mode to full screen mode, then put that shortcut into the Windows startup folder. Done. What about the controller? I'm using Anti-Micro X. Go into Settings, enable Launch at Windows Startup. That's it, simple. Now, let's reboot. And this is where everything changes. From now on, every time the system turns on, Play Night launches straight into full screen. Anti-Micro X instantly picks up the controller. No mouse, no keyboard, you just sit down, grab the controller, and play. Yeah, now it finally feels like a real console. Alright, let's see how it actually performs in games. Let's start with PS2, Tekken 5, and just as expected, it runs beautifully. Smooth gameplay, every hit lands perfectly, combos feel incredibly satisfying. It's like all those old memories, playing with friends, just came rushing back. With this setup, PS2 is effortless. But that's not enough. I want more. Can this mini PC handle PS3? Let's find out. First up, GTA San Andreas. It takes a bit to load, but once you're in, it's actually pretty smooth, no major issues. But let's be honest, this is a relatively light game. I need something heavier. Next, Minecraft PS3 Edition. And yeah, here we go. Stutters start to show up. Frame drops happen more often, still playable, but the experience definitely takes a hit. Now, let's push it to the limit. Red Dead Redemption, a much heavier, more ambitious title. Loading takes a while, and then no surprises, everything runs in slow motion, the system barely responds. Yeah, this one's not playable. So now it's clear, this is the limit of the system. And honestly, with a Ryzen 3 2200G, this result makes perfect sense. So, in the end, is this a real gaming console? The answer is yes, but in a very different way. It's not as simple as a PlayStation, Not as seamless as an Xbox, but in return, you get total control. A Windows PC that can become any console you want, all in one place, right here, inside Play Night. The pros? Flexible, powerful, all in one. The downside? You have to set it up. You have to understand it. But if you can do that, this experience, it's absolutely worth it. So, would you build your own all-in-one PC console like this? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.